At the Southport School, we know one of the most important things we can do for our students is to provide them with strong literacy skills. Literacy is the key component which underpins all other learning. But sadly, we also know that for many children in Australian schools, acquiring strong literacy skills is a real challenge. This is particularly the case for boys, where 3 out of 4 children in Australian schools who are receiving learning support are boys. Something clearly isn't working for boys in Australian schools when it comes to acquiring the right skills in spelling, reading and writing. At TSS we decided that simply wasn't good enough, and to ensure that our boys grew up to be literate, we looked for the very best approach that we could find to give them the skills that they need. We used the THRASS resources to make sure that our teachers have the tools they need to help the boys be proficient at reading, writing and spelling. THRASS isn't a program, it's a series of resources. The real strength in the program lies behind the teacher knowledge. Our teachers have spent many hours of professional development learning about English, how it works, so that they can really and effectively teach the boys how to understand the way that words and letters come together to form language. We study English orthography. The difference is that most schools study a traditional phonics approach. There's a lot of talk in the media about schools not teaching phonics correctly and the Year 1 phonics check having to be implemented by the federal government to ensure that schools do what they're supposed to be doing. In my view, this is a nonsense. All schools across this country teach phonics to their students. The difference is most are teaching a traditional phonics base where 26 letters form 26 sounds and students are asked to break the words into sounds and make sense of them. In English, this simply doesn't work. An example for that is teaching children that the letter C makes the sound K is not sustainable teaching. A child simply needs to come across the word city or circus to understand that C does not always make the sound K. And teaching a child the blend CH makes the sound ch is not sustainable. Because we come across words like chicken and church where this is true, and then words like chef and Cheryl and school where it is simply not the case. Boys tend to be fairly linear learners. In that, I mean they like the rules, they like the steps, and they like to know what they need to know to get to an outcome. Traditional phonics teaching has too many rules, too many exceptions. The orthographical approach means that there isn't a word in the English language that our teachers can't explain thoroughly to the students. The boys here understand the building blocks of English. They understand how those building blocks are put together to form words, and they can recognise and understand unfamiliar words based upon the knowledge that they've learned. Our orthographical approach focuses on the phonemes, the speech sounds, helping the boys to identify these 44 sounds that we make in English. Once they can identify these sounds, we teach them the letter choices that lead to correct spelling. The proof really is in the pudding. Over the last 6-7 years, we have seen our boys' literacy results absolutely skyrocket. The boys are engaged, they understand what they're doing, and more importantly, they're enjoying their literacy learning. I know that we are making sure that the boys at this school have the solid foundations in literacy that they need. In fact, I say to our parents that at TSS Prep, we don't ask our students to learn their spelling, and that is because our teachers teach it.